The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views or ideas of the staff or management of KWSH or the 110 Broadcast Group.
Good morning. It's Jay. Another edition of the Simulation Radio program here today, Tuesday, June 2nd, moving on up into the summertime. As a matter of fact, I think we are in the summertime, so we'll count that all as good. Just roll with it. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's doing what they need to do. We've got a couple of announcements to make. Some good information coming out of the Seminole Nation. Things are happening, and also want to clear up some misinformation that's out there. Things that have been brought to my attention. We'd like to make sure that that you, as a listener, get the most accurate and official information concerning anything that has to do with the Seminole Nation, because we know that there's a lot of activity that's going on. We just want to make sure that everybody is aware and transparent and accountable for all that's going on. Still got the mask on, still doing the social distancing, still doing the hand sanitizing. Hope you are too. It seems to be situations now more seems to be everybody's kind of using this as a new normal, and it's becoming a new, actually a thing that we do every day. And so as we try to flatten the curve, it's still ongoing. I do know that at the complex, I actually just came from there. We do have some improvements that are being made, and actually it was on kind of a scheduled improvements to make sure that a lot of folks that come up there to visit and do business at the complex, namely the tribal enrollment program, which is one of our highest trafficked areas up there, that they get the first call and first look to provide a safe and sound environment for our employees and our customers that come up there as well. So if you're seeking information about tribal enrollment, they're currently not operational. Their internal structures are being gutted out to make improvements. It's the first and initial building of improvements at the complex to make this happen. And the thing about, it's kind of weighing, and if you hear me, that sigh was just something that it comes out because there's a lot of activity going on. There's a lot of problems in areas that need to shore up in the Seminole Nation. And as a communications director, by all means, send your comments and things our way so we can look at them and get them to the proper folks. But there's very few that's actually out there handling the business right now. There's very few that's out there that's working essentially to make sure that the services are up. So please, I just ask that you just exercise some operational patience and as the deliberate processes of getting everything ready for a reopening of the tribal nation services and programs to full capacity, is that those things are being worked on, that the health and welfare of our nation's citizens, employees, members, that everything is paramount. That everybody is trying to, that's involved in the planning for this COVID-19, that we're responding as we respond to it as an emergency, that everything's done in a deliberate, concise, and appropriate manner for our citizens. So think about it. If you were going up to the complex, wouldn't you want to be safe? Wouldn't you want to have an environment that you can go in and make sure that your health is taken care of? I would. And we also look at some of our citizens and where they're at. There's a document going around. I'm sure you'll see it. It's been published and it'll be at the C stores. but it's basically the COVID-19 emergency response guidance. The team has a guidance that they utilize. Now, when I say team, again, I share with you that as a member of that team, one of our goals and the mission is to make sure that we, number one, stay out of jail. We don't want to make sure that misappropriation of funds is something that we take highly, and that funding is there for a reason, and we don't want to make sure that it's spent accordingly in the way that it's supposed to. And number two, that our citizens are actually being given that opportunity to improve their area of concern too as well, whether it be their homes or taken care of from responses due to COVID-19, that there are systems in place to help them as well. So I'll share with you this document, and again, it'll be published online in our social media sites, and we can email it to you if you need it. We'll also have these at the C-stores as well, but it's just basically a one-page planning guidance. And it states the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma received approximately $16 million from the initial U.S. Treasury allocation of $8 billion to assist tribal governments. The Coronavirus Act, Relief and Economic Security Act, which is the CARES Act. Thank you. The Coronavirus Relief and Economic Security Act, the CARES Act, is a law intended to address economic recovery from COVID-19 fallout. And the Seminole Nation is elected to, the Executive Department is elected to look at 3 areas of concern in which these allocations will go to. 3 areas of concern is the response, preparedness, and prevention categories. So again, response, preparedness, and prevention. Let me get that straight. 3 areas of response, preparedness, and prevention for the nation. Each one of these will contain areas that the allocations will be used for. For instance, the response area. Allocations for expenses not budgeted for, which include cleaning supplies, personal protective equipment, telenetworking costs, and food. So these allocations will be in the response, basically a response to the COVID-19. In the next category, you look at preparedness. Preparedness, the Seminole Nation will look at the preparedness aspect. Allocations will be used for mitigating risk for safely operating government and tribal businesses. Okay, so if you think about it, the cornerstone of our economic progress, our C-stores, our casinos, our areas of child care, complex, these allocations are mitigated, will be used for mitigating risks for safely opening government and tribal businesses. That's preparedness. Another area is the prevention area. Allocations for tribal members and communities with hardships due to the public health emergency. So those are one of the areas that you're looking at. And with the prevention, this is due to, I want you to key in on those 2 words there, due to the public health emergency, due to COVID-19. So let's say a person came to the complex requesting an assistance for a health-related issue. Well, one of the questions will be, is it due to the COVID-19? And if it was, we want to make sure, well, if one, they're not bringing it to the complex, and 2, that it's also related, and expenses related to that will be looked at and assisted through this funding. So allocations for tribal members and communities with hardships due to the public health emergency. So those 3 areas will be the judgment for the funding and how it's used. And again, this is law. This is the federal law. There's no statutes within our Seminole Nation of Oklahoma law. There's not any law. So one of the questions that did come up was why isn't council involved in it? And my question is, well, one of the questions is it doesn't say anything in there about the council. However, they are always notified of any situation, especially with budgeted items going forward. And with that, there was a meeting last week in which we had 3 council members on Friday attend the meeting. And again, these meetings are open. There's nothing nefarious. There's nothing hidden in it. It's just that with the meeting places, we do have to adhere to CDC guidelines. That's what we're trying to do and mitigate any mass gathering of people. And with that meeting that happened Friday, we were at the limit of personnel that could be involved in that. So with 3 council members, it was nothing nefarious as far as intent on who was invited. It was a meeting that was well put together as far as the information. I encourage you to talk with your council members and your band representatives because there is a flow of information. There's a flow of communication that we need to improve on, and with them involved in it from last week, it was pretty good as far as getting that information out. So I'm gonna kind of switch gears here too. The council meeting is supposed to happen this weekend. Did send out an email to the council members yesterday. Within our code of laws and constitution, it does state that the general counsel will have the final say as where it's going to happen and what's going to happen for that meeting. And it was an email sent out as far as kind of to make sure, because I know electronically we have to set up and get everything ready for recording and for getting that information out. And we're just waiting for responses from council. How they want to set it and proceed. Is it going to happen? I know that there was one band that had contacted on regards to having their band meeting. Chiaha will be having one Friday up to I believe at the ball fields at Mixsuki. And so information like that, it's very important that the people get the most accurate information as possible and official information. So as far as band meetings, that's the only one we've heard of through the communications office. That's going to be happening this week. There was a misinformation blurb out there that Chief had postponed the meeting. Chief did not postpone the council meeting. It wasn't his call. He did, however, send out an email. And the reason I know about this is I helped craft this one phrase because it was a phrase just to suggest that it was a postpone based on the information gathered and the data gathered of active cases of coronavirus. Chief had sent out an email suggesting a postponement, and that's all it was a suggestion, because his understanding was, the council will have the final say on it of what's going on. And so, it wasn't a postponement request directed to do it. It was just a suggestion, based on the data for the county. So we're trying to make sure that the misinformation and the intent of the messaging is correct. So I just wanted to throw that out there. So please contact your band representatives. Let's see what's going on. We need to get some information flow so that the citizens can understand what's happening. The requirement that expenditures be incurred due to public health emergency means that the expenditures must be used for actions taken to respond to the public health emergency. Now, with the COVID CARES Act, that's what it's about. That's cut and dry. That's the law from the U.S. Treasury Department. Before I came up here, being at the complex, there was a lady that had come up requesting assistance for this CARES Act. There is no monies have been spent. Again, we're in the early stages of allocating. This is kind of the first step, but there are no monies to be handed over. There has been another rumor going out there that Chief has already pocketed some of the money, and he's already walking around with bankroll in his pocket. Again, false information from I'm at a loss really to why it's even goes that far. But it's, those things like that, we've got to stop. We've got to quit feeding the fire and fueling the fire. And information will be forthcoming on all that. So I just encourage you to just stay in contact with your band chiefs, stay in contact with your band representatives, so that we can get the most bang for our buck on information. Anything I put out, I have to clear it through the executive office, so just ensure that the official word is out there. We do have a couple of announcements this Friday. This Friday will be a blood drive. There will be a blood drive at the Miccosukee Mission. Or, I'm sorry, I said Friday. Thursday. Thank you. I was looking at Dennis. He's helping me out here. We're leaning on each other. So here we go. Thursday, June 4th, Seminole Nation CHR program blood drive. It'll be 10:30 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. 10:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock afternoon. To schedule your appointment, contact Brooklyn Harris. Brooklyn Harris at 405 915 3924. That's Brooklyn Harris at 405 915 3924. Every donor can receive a free COVID-19 antibody test. But an appointment is needed to participate. So that will be this Thursday CHR program blood drive. Also, there'll be a Victor Cope. I saw that where Victor Cope and the Indian Falls Creek crew will be having a golf tournament this weekend. They'll be having a golf tournament this weekend. And I encourage everyone to get out and support that. Registration begins at 10 a.m. Shotguns start at 11 a.m. with a meal provided. Prizes for the first, second, and third. Two-man team, $150 $150. Mulligans are $5 each. Door prizes. String game, $20 a team. Sponsorship donations, platinum donations, $600. Gold, $500. Silver, $150. To register, contact Victor Cope. Victor Cope at 405-388-1568. That's Victor Cope at 405-388-1568 for the Indian Falls Creek Golf Tournament two-man scramble at Fire Lake Golf Course. Or you can contact Victor at Indian Rev, NDNREV, Indian Rev at AOL.com. Victor, hanging on with the AOL. All right. We also have Meet the Candidates, the Native American Voters Caucus. An opportunity for candidates to engage with Native American voters in a discussion about issues that are important to the tribal community. Get Out the Native Vote is Saturday, June 6th from 4 to 6 p.m. 4 to 6 p.m. with an online form. Zoom video link registration will be posted soon. The format for this Get Out the Native Vote Meet the Candidates will be in respect to the health in the community. This forum will be held online. All Native American voters and candidates are welcome and encouraged to attend. Native American Voter Caucus is nonpartisan. For more information about this, contact Dana Miller at 405-584-3355. That's Dana Miller at 405-584-3355. Again, this will be an online forum Saturday, June 6th from 4 to 6 p.m. through Zoom. Seminole Nation casinos, in their effort to limit exposure and spread of COVID-19, all casinos are currently closed. With a tentative reopening date of June 15th. Okay, so make sure that everybody understands and shares that information. All casinos are closed with a tentative reopening date, June 15th. That means it may or may not open. So there'll be a real look at opening, and I'm sure you'll hear about it as soon as the information is published. So, and a citizens participation notice. That was okay. Let me scroll through that one. Any information that you may need requiring jobs and job openings, please contact Indeed.com. Indeed.com. And search for the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma or Seminole Nation Gaming. Seminole Nation Oklahoma, Seminole Nation Gaming at Indeed.com, and you'll see that they have job listings posted. Currently, there's a cashier full-time at River Mist that's needed. There's a cashier full-time needed at Trading Post in Wewoka, and a cashier full-time needed at Travel Plaza as well. The Seminole Nation Gaming Enterprise is looking also for a cook in the Kanawha area. So there are 4 job openings currently. Just get on Indeed.com, search Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, upload your information, and you will be put in the pool for a job. We have very little information regarding events currently in the Seminole Nation. As far as I do know that there was a meeting to initially talk about Seminole Nation Days, and it's kind of in the pre-planning, but at the same time there's a arm's length look at modifying it. So any information regarding Seminole Nation Days will be forthcoming, just for the simple fact of planning, or if it's going to happen, or if it's modified or not going to happen due to this seriousness in the COVID-19. So just stay tuned for that information. Activities in the summer currently been canceled. More information will be forthcoming on late summer and school activities. So just be patient. Again, I just stress the operational patience of all this. You got good people doing good things, and doing the right thing. So just make sure that you stay tuned to our Seminole Nation program. Thank you, KWSH, for allowing us this time. Any updates, comments, questions, concerns, contact the Seminole Nation Communications Department at 405-382-1010. That's 405-382-1010. Follow us on our Seminole Nation social media for the most real-time information as Seminole Nation Facebook. And you also have us on Instagram and Twitter and Instagram. We're using that regularly. So with that, I think we're going to close it out. I got another meeting I got to go to. Keep in mind there has been a talk about a meeting tomorrow. Social distancing in a gathering place and in a community building will be definitely enforced. The last thing we would like to have was a total outbreak with a bunch of people in a building. So social distancing will be enacted and enforced. So any gatherings. So just be careful, take care of one another, do the right thing, be patient. Let's be nice to each other on the social media. There's a lot of negativity out there. The one thing that this Seminole Nation of Oklahoma is needing is some healing and some unity. This is a time to unify and not divide. Let's look at the positives. Let's move forward with those things that will make us stronger and help one another out during this time, because it's a stressful time. The last thing we need is more stress added on each and every one as individuals and families and as a nation. So let's try to fix the problems with solutions, and we'll be fine. So with that, this is a close of another edition of the Seminole Nation radio program. I'm Bo WHITEKILLER, and we'll be talking with you later. Hadam Chihi Chaflis.